How's it going out there? Welcome back to Melvor Idle Hardcore. This is Generation 2, episode 14. In the last episode, I think we were finishing up on thieving. That's the first thing on my notes. We were at level 89, and I basically just let it run on the night for several days. I mean, this thing takes forever. We have had, I think in the last episode, I mentioned there was going to be a cooking rework. A message was sent out through Steam saying that they were reworking the cooking skill, and it looked really cool. Well, they've also put out a message saying that they're going to rework thieving, and there's going to be some unique things to get from it, and redoing some of the stuff that the people that you thieve from and all that. So I think that's awesome. I can't wait for it. I think thieving there's a few really good things for thieving, like the farmer. The farmer is the best aspect of thieving. The worst aspect of thieving is the night. I really don't care for the night at all, especially when you have to go from level 75 to level 99 just stealing garbage from the night. Like, he's kind of pointless. You could take some less XP and steal from the farmer all day and just collect up farmer stuff, which is fine, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of this skill the way it is, so them reworking it, I think, is going to be awesome. The cooking rework, I can't remember exactly what all entails, but supposedly there's going to be more to it than just straight up cooking, and they're going to nerf the farming stuff a little bit, so your carrots and things like that won't heal for as much compared to cooked food or whatever. So I'm curious to see how that goes. Be interesting to say the least. But to get from thieving level 89 to 99, I had some pretty good bonuses on agility, and I had almost every bonus I could find for thieving or gold generation. So I kind of kept track of where I was. I had 126 million gold when I started, or at level 89, and when I hit level 99, I had 212 million gold. So 80 million gold or whatever is what I got out of thieving. So it's not the most lucrative thing. And that's presuming that the knight is the best one to thieve from. I don't know that he is. He's just the one that I was spending the most time with. That includes the pet, which gives you extra gold. That also includes the signet ring. And I also had the gloves of silence on also, which all gives you bonuses plus whatever bonuses I had in agility, which I don't know if I've changed. See, I've still got this thieving mastery, but there's nothing else to take here. I think I may have had, well, there's gold from thieving, double items in thieving, and then this 10% gold. So I still have all these active. I haven't really changed anything here. So you make money off of thieving, but you don't make a great amount of money off thieving. That's kind of where I was going with that. Let's see. The next thing I worked on was herblore. So I had to do a lot to get herblore up to 99, and that is now completed and done. We're over with herblore. I had to go because I wanted to work within the herbs that I had and not have to grow anything extra. Just because it would derail. I'd have to wait for herbs, and then I'd have to go figure out another skill to work on. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to buzz through here and see everything that I have. I still had a ton of sourweed, so I went and chopped up a bunch of mahogany to do controlled heat potions, which I know they don't generate a whole lot of XP. But like I said, I had a lot of sourweed on here, and getting the mahogany logs is pretty simple. So I did up a bunch of controlled heat potions. I also went in and did some mining. I got sick of that, and I went and did some mining and got a bunch of gold ore because I had a bunch of oxalime. So going from 19 XP to perfect swing with 58 XP was a nice bump. I did that for a while, and then I ran out of oxalime, and I was starting to look through what I had left as far as herbs go. I don't have any of the pigtails, which pigtails is typically how I've gone from wherever you get this herblore potion. I'll usually run it up to where I can get diamond potions and damage reduction potions. I'll craft as many of those as I can, and then I'll finish out herblore with herblore potions because they're easy to get. You just have to have 3 pigtails, and you can. That's it. It's a single ingredient. It goes quick. Maybe not the best XP. There's other XP that's better, but these take more ingredients. So with this one, I just need the one ingredient and I can just keep banging them out until I'm done. But I did not do that in this case. What I did is I went over here to elemental potions because I had a ton of Porax, and I whipped up a bunch of body runes and crafted those until I hit 99 and stopped. So, oh, I did some diamond lucks in there just because I had them. I had the diamonds. So I do have some diamond luck potions and level 3. That's not too bad. I have beat Into the Mist on my standard account, and I did that with level 3s, I think. Maybe on to level 4s. I can't remember where I stopped, but either attempted or beat Into the Mist with lower level diamond locks. Then, not that it makes much of a difference, but it's going to be bearing in our later conversation here. So, as I was finishing up herblore, so I got, thieving done, I got herblore done. I'm starting to look at this list of skills, and I don't have very many 99s left. So I was looking at this, and I'm like, you know what? I'll do some fletching next, because the reasoning for this is I have a shit ton of logs. And once I get this fletching done, I can get rid of all these logs. I think. I don't think I need to hang on to this stuff or anything. Maybe changing some agility obstacles out or something. I'm not sure. I'll take a look. But what I've been doing here, and I checked my video out previously. I was talking about doing some arrows or something because they give good XP. But what I actually did on this is worked between short bows and long bows. I was at level 30 something. We're now at level 77, and I started this yesterday. Somewhere in here, I think I was on oak short bows. So I just went in and made the actual bow part, not stringing them, but just the bow part. And I started running through, and then every time I could bump up to the next version, I have been. So every 5 or 10 levels or so, let's see, if I started with oak short bows, that would be here somewhere. Then I moved up to willows, and then I've gone through maybe the long bows. I've kind of bounced back and forth. Whatever it comes up and says I can do, I go to the next higher tier. So I've been able to do U short bows, and now I've got U long bows. So the next one's going to come up at 80, which is 3 levels away. I'll be able to craft this. The other thing I can do, well, let me back up for a second. The reason I'm sticking to these is because I have so many logs. I just have logs for days sitting here. And I have pretty much everything up through here. I can't do magic because I don't have magic, which is actually the next one. So I would probably have to stop and chop up some magic trees to get logs, or just keep pushing through until I hit level 90. Yeah, 90 is where the short bow comes in. So got kind of a ways to go with these, and they're not the greatest XP. Like, there's much better XP to be had. But I could stop, and this is probably where I'm going to stop and start doing bolts. I might run this until, I don't know if I want to run out of U-logs or, I don't know. Let's see, we get 80 here. Yeah, so you don't really get any extra XP for those, for putting a string on them. So I can just leave these going on U longbows for a while. But the cool thing is I have plenty of topaz, ruby, sapphire, and emerald. I will not use diamonds for this. Those go to diamond luck potions. But I could certainly stop off and craft up a ton of headless arrows, which means smithing up, what are they, iron bars, I think? Oh, I need to go to iron gear for the headless bolts. So I don't have any of these, so I will have to go mine up some iron ore. But the cool thing is I'm at level 99, so mining up iron ore and smithing it will go quickly and easily, and I'll have a decent stock. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is when I get bored with the U's and maybe I'm not getting very far with it, I'll switch over to doing like emerald bolts, which these are 139 and I have 8,000. So I can make a lot of those. I have 12,000 of these, 18,000 of those, 37 of those. I mean, if I craft up enough headless bolts, I've got more than enough to screw around with the bolts on this. So that's probably how I'm going to tackle fletching going forward, is really with just bolts. At this point, maybe I'll go through and try to do the completionist bit of just creating like one of each of these just to have that part done. I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to tackle that yet or not. Um, the other skill that I have left is crafting, and I really don't like crafting all that much. The way I'm going to tackle crafting is pretty much with leather armor and just maybe 99, all this stuff. I don't know. I'm going to push this one off for another day. So before we get too far into this video and make this thing really long, uh, going forward, this is where I woke up this morning, and I've actually been thinking about this for the last few days, but especially this morning, since I was kind of figuring out what I wanted to do for the video. Going forward with this account, there are two things that I really want to accomplish, and I think I can accomplish them fairly easily. And that is, I would like to get the Cape of Completion, which is, if you go into the shop here and you go to skill capes, the max skill cape, it's this one here. There is another cape, I can't remember what that one's called, the Cape of Completion. This is not what I'm looking for. This one is when you've completed everything. You have all 99s, you have all the masteries, you have all that. That gives you this. I don't want that one just yet. That's going to be a lot of work, and it takes a lot to get there. But having completed some things on my standard account, like I have been through, I've actually beat Into the Mist. I have total completion on all of the monsters. I'm working towards masteries and items and all that kind of thing now. But I have the max skill cape on that account. And this basically, when you get this here, this gives you all of these skill capes in one. So you can sell off almost everything out of here and just keep that one cape. That I think will be important, because then I don't have to switch things around all the time, number one. And number two, that will make all of this other stuff go quicker, because I don't have to change anything around. I don't have to have as much inventory space. So that's going to be kind of one of my next goals, is to get this cape, which means getting all of the combat stuff up to 99. Slayer is going to be the longest grind on this. Crafting and fletching and all these don't necessarily matter to get to that point. They need to be 99, but I don't have to finish these now. I could finish them later and do some of this other stuff first and then come back to those. They're easy enough. This other stuff is a massive grind, so I want to do that. So I want the max skill cape. Now, that'll free up a lot of inventory space, which I think is going to be very important to a hardcore account, especially when I start changing agility around, because if I change my agility pillar, I'm going to lose these 10 bank spaces. So that's going to be crucial to free up some spots. The other thing too is I can probably get rid of a bunch of this stuff. Maybe keep fishing, maybe keep cooking, because I think cooking is going to be an important skill cape. The rest of these I could probably ditch. So I could clear up some room. Plus, like I said, I can get rid of all this wood. If I can convert all these gems over and get that all prepped up into bolts, that's going to free up all my bolts. So I can start clearing out a lot of my inventory of garbage that I don't need. I could probably get rid of all these rings now, or these 2 rings. I planned on saving them for summoning, but there's not really a whole lot of them there. The other thing I could do is, well, of course, see, it's going to cost gems, and I don't want to pay the gem cost. But at any rate, I was talking about getting rid of skill capes, and that would free up a whole bunch of these skill capes, like the cooking one I'd keep, the fishing one I'd keep. I could probably get rid of mining, rune crafting I have to keep, smithing I can ditch, wood cutting I could ditch. I wouldn't need those necessarily for now. So, going forward, I don't know if I want to do the max skill cape first. It's going to be a lot longer grind, but I think I want to get my attack, strength, and defense into the 80s, probably at least defense and attack of 85. And the reason for that is the god dungeons. So I have yet to clear the volcano yet. But once you clear the volcano one time, you unlock, I think it's the air god dungeon. And then once you beat the air god dungeon one time, you unlock the water god. And then once you beat that, you go into the earth god. And then once you beat that, you go into the fire god. Now, the reason that these 4 dungeons are important for this conversation is you could, once you complete, there's air god, water god, earth god, and fire god. Once you complete those dungeons one time each, you get this, which unlocks all these intervals, speeds up the interval for all the different crafting things, cooking, fire making, fletching, all this kind of thing. And crafting and fletching would be the very first one with the air god. So actually I should probably prioritize these two, or I should prioritize getting through the air god dungeon first, unlock this, and then finish up fletching and crafting if I want to do that. These are also, especially the air god, water god, and earth god, those are all dungeons that I can complete with this character and actually with the gear that I have. The only thing I would need to grind out is a better sword. You can completely beat, and I don't have the gloves of silence. I thought I did. Oh, I do. Yeah, I do. The paladin gloves, that's the ones I think I need to grind out. So I need to come up with a list of stuff. I think it's the pallies. I need to go get this paladin glove because that gives some damage reduction. So I think what I need to do at this point is to probably stop doing this and start doing combat and really work towards getting up to the mid 80s on my melee skills. And then we're going to, boy, that's a quandary because I need to free up inventory space first because then I need to change my combat pillar. Yeah. Some interesting choices here. And I actually really want to build up some money because I have enough to buy those 4 items. Like I could go buy these now with 200, but I'd only be left with 7 million gold. So I want to prep up for that. I think we've got damage reduction potions. No, we got regen potions. I got diamond lux. Thought I had damage reductions. I guess I don't. Oh, I haven't ground out the horns and eyeballs yet. Okay, so I don't have those. This probably would be a good point to stop and work on the gem tip bolts. But back to dungeon talk. So you can defeat, I'll demonstrate this over here since I have it. The air god is basically, you have to take in melee to defeat it. I believe the water god, they want you to take in ranged, and the fire god, they want you to take in ranged. But you can completely do the air god, water god, and earth god with manual healing throughout with melee gear. And basically, if you're following me on adventure mode right now, that is exactly what I'm doing, is going through these dungeons with the melee character. I know I can't get through the fire god. And maybe with the earth god dungeon stuff, but I got killed with my standard account on the fire god. So I will need to bring up ranged, but I can get at least the perpetual haste here for crafting and fletching, which is the next 2 that I need to work on. So if I start working towards getting these to 85 to where I can actually start equipping the god gear, that I think is a very worthwhile effort. Go through, beat the volcano, unlock this, beat this thing, and then I'll be able to start pushing towards the earth god and get geared up there. I can skip a lot of the grind. The other thing that this will afford, once I get through this and maybe start gearing up, getting the better gear, getting ranged and magic and all that stuff raised up, that will make all the other grind for completion much, much, much easier, because I'm able to come back into, say, some of these other dungeons here where on my standard account, my original hardcore, I would struggle going through some of these, and I'd have to level up, and then I could finally get through them. With this higher tier gear, especially once you get into the earth god stuff, you can just mow through all this much quicker, much easier, much less time consuming. So I think that's going to be where my goal is to at least get through the first 3 dungeons, the air, water, and earth, to unlock these 3 interval reductions, and then work up ranged, and then unlock this art of control and get that one done. And that will make completion mode much easier from a gear perspective for attacking things, and from a skill perspective in crafting things, because these bump up all your intervals. 15%'s, pretty decent. So, I think that's how we're going to proceed forward. I'm going to go back into combat. I'll probably start doing that after we get done with this video. I'll push back into combat. Maybe I'll let Fletching go overnight. I really need to fish up some prayer points, I guess. So that's probably going to have to be done overnight too. I don't think there's a fishing one, is there? Nope, no fishing, no speeding up fishing. So that's where we are, and that's where we are going. This video got a little bit long, but I think it's important to kind of cover why I want to go forward the way I'm going to go forward with this account. I know I said I wanted to do all the non-combat stuff first, but the more I find as I've gotten through my standard account and gotten through opening these up and into the mist and everything and seeing what comes later, these benefits are definitely not something to stay away from. So that is going to do it for this episode, and we will catch you on the next one. Take care.